For some people suffering from serious mental illness, paranoia is more than the stuff of conspiracy theorists and psychological thrillers. It's real, palpable, and distorts the world into a threatening place. What happens then if a defendant with such mental illness commits a violent crime, but there is psychiatric evidence that the defendant's illness may have affected the defendant's mental state during the commission of the offense? The United States Supreme Court addressed a defendant's constitutional right to offer psychiatric testimony in defense of a charge in Clark v. Arizona. Eric Clark, who was 17 years old, suffered from severe paranoid schizophrenia. His illness caused him to suffer from delusions that aliens from outer space were trying to kill him, and that some of the aliens were impersonating government agents. He told others that the only way to stop the aliens was to shoot them. He also heard voices in his head, a common symptom of schizophrenia, and would play loud music in an attempt to drown them out. One evening, Clark was driving a car around his neighborhood blaring loud music. A police officer, Jeff Moritz, pulled over Clark. Clark fatally shot Moritz. Clark was charged with first-degree murder by knowingly or intentionally killing a law enforcement officer. Clark pleaded not guilty, waived a jury, and had a bench trial. At trial, Clark didn't dispute that he had killed Moritz. Instead, Clark offered testimony from a psychiatrist that Clark's paranoid schizophrenia rendered him incapable of having the mental capacity to knowingly or intentionally kill a police officer. Clark alternatively raised an insanity defense. The prosecution offered rebuttal testimony from its own psychiatrist and lay witnesses. Their testimony claimed that, although mentally ill, Clark wasn't insane. Rather, Clark had the mental capacity to knowingly and intentionally kill a police officer and had previously stated his intent to do so. At the close of the evidence, the trial court refused to consider whether Clark's psychiatric testimony raised a reasonable doubt about his mens rea, which the prosecution had the burden to prove. The court based its decision on a prior Arizona Supreme Court decision, State v. Mott. Instead, the court ruled that such expert testimony was only relevant to Clark's insanity defense, which Clark had the burden to prove. In finding Clark guilty of first-degree murder, the court found that Clark possessed the mens rea and wasn't insane. The court sentenced Clark to life in prison. On appeal, the Arizona Court of Appeals affirmed Clark's conviction, and the Arizona Supreme Court denied review. Clark then successfully petitioned the United States Supreme Court for cert.